Well, hello, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Professor Tom Berry. You can call me Tom. The goal of this overview is just to give you a little bit of lay of the land about Social 211, Sociology of Deviance. It's a really cool, interesting, fun class. We kind of get started off with getting oriented around what is sociology. And then we start basically diving into like, how do we think about deviance? What gets identified as deviance? A lot of examination of cultural, social influences, both the identification of things of being deviant, the process involved in defining deviance, responding to deviance, issues of social control, regulation, addressing inequalities, all these different kind of things. It's really a fun, interesting, exciting journey into this particular topic area. I think, in a lot of ways, study deviance to study society itself, politics, economics, social issues, a lot of stuff comes up. I think the class, in my experience in teaching this class over the years, students walk away with a much greater appreciation and understanding of the complex nature of deviance, of defining, explaining it, understanding it. And for those who are going into fields of human services, this is directly applicable to your educational career pathway. Even if you're not going down a field that's working within that realm of human services, I think it's applicable to so many different fields. It's just trying to understand human behavior, whether you're in healthcare, public service, working in private institutions, working in business and industry. I think this class has a lot of cool applications. Okay, so the goal of this overview video is just to give you a little bit of lay of the land, some requirements, expectations around Zoom. Go over the assignment format, and just kind of I want to get you situated in the class before our first class meeting, so you can kind of explore things and get started with course content. Okay, so in your Canvas, you'll see an icon like this, Social 211 Spring 2022. You can look at the syllabus. We'll go in here in a second. In the week 0 folder, the syllabus is there. You can print out the syllabus and follow that way. It's also, everything is in all these modules. So if you want to go week by week, you can just follow that way. I opened the folders up the night after our class meeting. So you'll be able to see week 1 folder already. And then after our first class meeting, later on that night, it'll open up for week 2. This is just a little bit about the course. You're going to kind of read that, a little bit of background about me. You can kind of check that out. Let me kind of widen that up a little bit. Let's talk about Zoom etiquette and behavior a little bit, and sort of expectations and requirements. I'll open up this document in a second. You can access our Zoom link by just cruising right down here somewhere, right there. You can go there, and what you'll see are basically all of our class sessions. Just hit start. That'll take you to the class session. I'll jump in. Usually 15 minutes before class is when I will jump into Zoom. And if you ever want to meet before, after, during office hours, outside of office hours, I'm here to support you. So just drop me an email and we will make that happen. Okay, Zoom etiquette and requirements. With starting teaching in this format and with remote-based instruction 2 years ago, kind of learned a lot along the way, things that work, things that don't work so well. And just like a face-to-face class, it's really a true partnership between the faculty member and students. It's like collaborating together to get into the space of learning. And to do that, especially in this remote environment, requires certain things regarding the use of Zoom. So first of all, just being engaged. So having eye contact is incredibly important for me to be able to see you. So we're conversing. I can kind of see eye contact or nonverbal communication, just whether the points are coming across, just to kind of engage with you. And it's super important that your Zoom is on throughout the duration of the class. It's distracting to me and to others in the classroom if it's just a name on the screen. It really decreases the productive value of the class and the engagement of the class. So video on, videos required throughout the course of a class session. If you have some technical problem, you don't have a camera, you should, be enrolling in this class, but for some reason, like something's going on, email me and I will work with you to make it happen so that you have quality access to Zoom. Some individuals I've run into issues before where somebody's Wi-Fi is really spotty. I had a student last term who could Zoom video, but when she spoke, she didn't have the bandwidth to be able to do both at the same time. So she would go off video, and then when she would provide feedback or response to a question that I had, she would turn it back on after that. Little things like that we can work out. Just trying to impress the point of having your video camera on throughout the class session. If you don't have those resources or if you run into problems, let me know and we'll work together to make that happen. If technical problems happen, let me know. Yeah, so also a couple things, with remote-based classes, you get to see into your home, your bedroom, kitchen, wherever you are. So keep distractions at a minimum. Things can happen where people walk by. Can't prevent everything, but just trying to minimize the number of distractions as possible. Try to avoid, the first term in teaching in Zoom, the student was cooking during our class session. It's like, okay, lesson learned there, just our focus is on the class. So minimize doing other things while we are in class session as well. I'm here to support you. The key is to keep me posted and keep me informed if there's problems that come up. Okay, here's the class syllabus. And basically while it's loading up, I can kind of walk through the main ideas here of the syllabus. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but rather kind of some highlights. Let's see. I got the class office hours listed there. Like I said, I'm available to meet outside of that, so let me know. There is a textbook for the class. You can go to the COCC website, go to the class schedule, go to this class. On the far right-hand side of the column is a link to the bookstore and for the purchase of the book. If you got an older edition, the first edition, I haven't looked at it, but my guess it's going to be fine as well. But it's going to be important that you have the book. I did post the first 2 chapters for week 1 in Canvas. But you will need it after that. So you use it every week. There's assignments that go along with that. So make sure you get that. The basic layout of the class is there's a weekly assignment that tracks through the video lecture and any supplemental materials in addition to the textbook. And I'll kind of walk through that here in a few minutes. So there's a weekly assignment, there's attendance and participation. You can see that 1/6 of your grade is based on your attendance and participation. If for some reason, well, I'll hold off on talking about that, about attendance and participation. There's some flexibility there a little bit, but I'll talk about that when we come up with the weekly assignment and we go over that. There's a midterm assessment where the midterm is just a review of key things that we've gone through. It's not a sit down in the class exam. It's more of a time for reflection, and it's just more of a class conversation. There's a case study presentation that we do at the end of the term where you're applying some theories and ideas to a particular example. And then there's an assignment regarding moral panics. So this will make sense what moral panics are by week 3. But there's an assignment at the end of the term about that. And there's a presentation both in class and then at student showcase, which is the end of the term event held by in the social sciences department. The psychology department puts it together. And it's open to the campus community. And it's on a Wednesday night from the last Wednesday of the term, the Wednesday before final exam week. And this is where you showcase your moral panics assignment. If you're not able to be there because you got work and other things, we'll figure that out. But just want to give you a heads up about that. You can walk through all the different requirements. There's just an explanation of all the different assignments, the assessments, the final exam, to take home final exam due by the end of the final exam date. So there's no problem for folks who maybe need to leave early. I released the final exam week 10, so you have a week or so to complete it. Other things, there's some information about resources regarding technology. If you have a documented disability, to let me know. And resources available to you, non-discrimination policy, Title IX. There's counseling available for students, great resource. It's important to let you know that these resources are free and available to you. So if that was something that you might value or benefit from, reach out there. And then the principles of community, so that in the classroom environment or your experience while at Central Oregon Community College is providing an environment that is educational, informative, respects the voices of other people and perspectives, promoting the focus on promoting empathy and understanding, own one's own voice, challenge each other, but value and respect the process and people and individuals. It's an important part of all classes. Social sciences, we get into a lot of values and belief stuff, so it becomes really important, or maybe not more important, but it becomes more apparent in our classes. There's also safe zone training for available to any individual, getting more information and support for individuals who either identify LGBTQ+ or an ally, or just curious and more information. There is safe zone training that's available for students. And then some basic general resources that are available to students who may be struggling financially, food insecurity, or other issues. So just be aware that there's some cool resources available to you and some contact information there. Plagiarism, there's classes, there's no exam in the class as far as objective multiple choice, true, false. It's all written work. So it's really important to put things in your own words, always, to express your own ideas and your own voice. Everything you turn in through Canvas, it runs through a kind of a plagiarism check. So it gives me documentation if there's information that's coming from somewhere else on the web. So yeah, always just put things in your own voice, describe, summarize, using your own, using your own language. I'm interested in assessing and understanding your understanding. And we start taking information from other sources and putting it in there. It's plagiarism, and plus it's impossible to tell kind of what a student is learning and gaining. So use your own voice regarding that. All right, then there's the class schedule. So you can kind of look through that, but like I said, it's all available in the weekly modules. All right, so let's go back here. Here's the weekly assignment requirements. This will kind of get us into the attendance and participation as well. So let me kind of open that up a little bit. All right, so the weekly assignments are kind of like the main thing. Basically, they're designed to facilitate your engagement with the class materials. The assignments are due the night before our class meeting. I put Sunday here, it's actually Monday. So the night before our weekly class meeting, we meet on Tuesdays from 1:15 to 3:05. So they're due the night before our class meeting. If they're turned in after that, then there's a great deduction for that. I do note though, however, that our schedules can get pretty crazy sometimes. Life can get busy, pretty chaotic. Maybe cruising down the road and sort of a bump happens. Makes it difficult for you to be able to complete an assignment for a particular week. My focus and my approach is to collaborate, work together to be able to facilitate completion of the coursework in a timely fashion, and to be able to be flexible around unforeseen circumstances. So the focus I put on is on quality work versus like a strict adherence to due dates. The key is to keep me in the loop. If something comes up, drop me an email, say, hey, hey, Mr. Berry, I'm not able to complete the assignment this particular week. I will have it in by the end of the week. Give me kind of a time frame. I don't need to know the reasons why. I trust that whatever the reason is, it was something that prevented you from completing the assignment. So just let me know, keep me in the loop, contact me before the assignment is due, or if it's class attendance, let me know what's going on. This way I can kind of start a conversation and we can kind of work together to make sure, if you missed a class, that we can meet in a Zoom session or an alternative. And if there's a pattern, that we try to figure out, okay, what's going on? How can we provide the necessary support or understanding to work towards completion of the assignments or class attendance and participation. So bottom line, keep me in the loop, and let me know what's going on, and we can kind of work together to make it happen. So the weekly assignment requirements, there's different formats of people approach things in different ways. So I provided a few different formats or options for approaching the summary of the information. So in the section 1 of the assignment is a review of either the textbook or a podcast or some supplemental information. You can choose one of these options. You can mix it up, change it up week to week. It doesn't really matter to me. The goal ultimately is about processing information, providing a format for you to engage in the information and the content. So the first option is to go through the reading prompt responses. In each week assignment, I'll show you in a minute, but each week folder, I provide reading prompts for the materials. You can go through the reading prompts if you want to do that. You can summarize the key points or issues. So if you're more comfortable, it's like, okay, I read, the 2 chapters out of the book. Rather than going through the prompts, I'm going to provide a summary of the main ideas and things that you found the most valuable or informative, or that were most central to the write-up. So just keep in mind providing sufficient depth of information and breadth of information. So this option 2, it's more open-ended, but you have to be thorough enough to be able to provide a nice summary, detailed summary of the reading or podcast or supplemental information. Option 3, if you have another option, it's like, let's say 1 week comes up, you read the material and you're thinking, I'm going to take a break from writing for a while. I'm just going to set up an appointment, see if it works for Tom, set up an appointment, 20-minute, meeting during office hours or outside of office hours. And you can bring talking points in over the article or information, and we can just chat about it. I mean, that's fine too. So if you have another creative approach, let me know. Different ways to get there. So I'm just providing 3 of them. Ultimately, it's about demonstrating your understanding. So keep that in mind. It's about covering information, demonstrating knowledge, demonstrating understanding, and always putting things in your own words. Each week, most weeks, there's also a lecture, a video lecture I put together. I put on that's out there. It's in the weekly folder as well. You could do the same thing. I put themes in there, and you can summarize the theme. You can take notes as you go through the PowerPoint video, or if you have another option, let me know. That works as well. I think the key is kind of for these assignments, just pacing yourself. You have 2 parts, right? The review of chapter content, and then you have the review of the lecture stuff. So I don't know, do one day and do another the other day, whatever works for you. Each week there's an overview for the week of things that, like the focus for the week. I put the PowerPoint video out there. Here's, the video lecture. You don't have to, if you want to watch it before class, it's totally cool. We're going to go over this in class. During the first week. Here's the readings, podcast, other materials. So here's chapter 1 and chapter 2 from the textbook. And then I really encourage you to read this 3 sociological perspectives. It provides you a nice foundation of what the 3 theories are. And even if you've taken SOC 201 before, the intro class, it's a great write-up that gives you a nice understanding of the 3 theories. Okay, so let's go down here. So week number 2 overview. Here's week 2 assignment requirements. Here's what I meant by the prompts. Here's chapter 1. What is deviance? Chapter 2. So option 1 is going through the prompts, right? Option 2 is doing a summary. Key ideas from the chapter. Option 3 is, if you come up with some other way of demonstrating engagement, understanding the material, that's fine as well. And then summarizing the lecture themes. So I put that in there every week, kind of like what the requirements are. Here's where you go to submit the assignment. I suggest using Firefox or Google Chrome. Used to be Blackboard. Previous learning management system had a problem with Safari. I don't know how difficult, if there's some incompatibility issues with Safari with Canvas or not, but something you can think about that. Let's see. Yeah, here's a video lecture, PowerPoint, the readings. We already went there. So anyway, that's the layout. I guess the other thing I was going to say, I think if you go to settings, I think is where it is. Let me go here. I'm going to pause for a second. Let's see if I can figure this out. Hold on. Actually, I can't pause while I'm doing this. Oh, no, here we go. All right, now I think I've figured this out. All right, what I wanted to let you know is just regarding getting notifications. I provide feedback on all your assignments. Usually the first week or two, I provide video feedback, just so I can give you more content, more information, just to make sure you're on the right pathway. You can get notifications, when announcements are sent out, or grades are put in, or there's something waiting for you. You can get those directly to you. So you can go to account and go to settings. And here you can add, add your email address, other ways of being contacted. There you go. So you can get it on your phone. So anyway, that's another way. I think that's a great way to just make sure you're getting information right in a timely fashion. All right, I think that's it for now. Yeah, look forward to meeting you that first day of class on Tuesday. I hope you had a great spring break and enjoy the day, and I'll see you on Tuesday. If you have any questions, let me know. You can drop me an email, tbarry@cocc.edu. All right, take care.